One of the best things about film is the fact it's a visual art form and can use that to your advantage, and one country which I believe does use that to its advantage is Japan. Whilst not always making the best films, some even straight up terrible, however they do usually like to try and use the screen to its full usage. And there's one film in particular in the Yakuza genre which I am going to talk about. And the Yakuza genre specifically uses itself to its advantage, whether it's Takashi Kitano's static cam style, Takashi Miike's totally unrealistic nature, or to one of the most famous, Seijun Suzuki, with his film Tokyo Drifter. Now it's important before going into the film to note a couple of things. First off, he had a style which is now regarded as ahead of its time, which the bosses of the company he made his films at, Nikaatsu, sorry if I mispronounced that, told him to tone it down his strange, bizarre way of filming and techniques. So much so this was one that had such a restricted budget, he wasn't allowed to film in colour for his next few films. Next is the fact the film is technically a B film, which when most people here think of that, they really think of low budget, mostly terrible films. The Room, Planet 9 from Outer Space, etc., with some good ones such as The Evil Dead, Night of the Living Dead, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And essentially, because of this, Suzuki would be restricted by shooting days, who he could cast, the type of scripts he would get, which mostly he wasn't able to refuse, risk losing his job if he did refuse them. And this film specifically was the last one with Nikatsu he was able to film in colour, and he sure did use that to his advantage.
親父さん、裏切ったな。兄貴!
As the restrictedness that he was giving allowed him, as well as his art director, Takeo Kimura, to think outside of the box with their use of colour and sets. And now onto the film Tokyo Drifter. Now the film's plot is essentially very strange and almost incomprehensible, which I'll get into later, but this is how Wikipedia describes it. After Yakuza boss Kuruta dissolves his own criminal empire, a rival kingpin offers a position to Kurata's top operative, Tetsuya, quote, the Phoenix Tetsu, end quote, Hondo. When the fierce loyal Tetsu declines, Otsuka taps unstoppable Tatsuyu, the Viper, a ruthless gun for hire, to assassinate him. As the Viper trails his target through the countryside, the agile Phoenix Tetsu grows concerned that one of his former associates has betrayed him. And if that sounds strange, it is. However, the plot doesn't really matter. It's more of an art piece rather than a narrative one, which is both a positive and a negative, as it allows the audience to be engrossed in the film's beautiful cinematography, multicoloured sets, the film's jazzy score, which fits incredibly with the stylish look of it. However, it does on the downside lead to the film being almost incomprehensible as to what is going on, which is both a constant decision and one that they are forced to make, as Suzuki has admitted due to the low budget of the film, there are tons of continuity errors, thus leaving the film feeling a bit disjointed. But really apart from that, the film is great. It's quite a funny film, especially a scene in which it takes place in a saloon, which is a parody of the Western genre at the time, which was massive, with the fight being so over the top that it just makes you laugh with its outrageousness. The film was directly inspired by pop art's surrealism and its mise-en-scene type of filming, with the sets they used being heavily stylized, which they used to a tremendous effect, especially the club, which we see multiple times throughout the film, in which it's bathed in multiple colours, to give it the sense of otherworldliness. What makes these sets greater is the fact they are beautifully shown in multiple colours, from white to black to yellow, even the sky going from red to black. Overall, just a really unique looking film and just gorgeous. It's an experience that everybody should at least watch once. The colours are in your face and pretty. The sets, while simple, ooze creativity. It has a great soundtrack. The actual location scenes are fantastically shot and colour graded. Characters' costumes, colours are incredible and add to the trippy 60s look, and while it's not the most profound or even fully comprehensible film, it's one that you should seek out. All in all, it's one of the most beautiful films ever made that more people should find out and watch.